What? Solo role-playing during daylight hours? It can be done. Well, we're gonna try. Alright, I think this is gonna be a quick one. Actually, I have no idea. We're gonna start, or we're going back to our discharged corp killer, Fade, who is currently tasked with, by his friend, what was their name? Our androgynous friend, by the name of Morgaine, on reclaiming some compromising footage that a certain PsyPD officer had recorded of them. We now know that Granger in PsyPD gets his kicks by the word candidly, by voyeuristically recording people in their, specifically women, in their sleep. And Granger was of the impression that Morgaine is a woman, used his PsyPD abilities, I guess I'll call them, to gain entry into their house and recorded Morgaine in their sleep, but not before Morgaine could awaken and realize like what situation they were in. However, Granger did escape Morgaine, and now Morgaine has put out basically a bounty and has hired Fade to reclaim one, the footage, and two, if possible, bring Granger to quote unquote justice. I think that's where we left off. To that effect, Fade started his he got his first solid hit on Granger by tracking him to the casino, Lucky. I always say Lucky Strike, and that's not right. Lucky Flight Casino, and saw Granger and his partner Song get into Granger's undercover police car with Faye doesn't know it, but it's Cord. Cord has been sort of arrested or captured by these two with the pretense that Cord will give them a means of egress into the club My Wall. That's a story that we've put on the brakes for now. Fade was able to track the squad car to a like dilapidated radiation clinic just north of Go in the ports, and the clinic had been sort of turned into a what do we call it, like a junkie hostel slash club, and Fade swiftly like worked his way through there, getting a hold of a cred stick worth 2,000 credits. That's cool, but more importantly, getting a lead from a washed up physician at the club inside the clinic that Song had been injured, and now the group was laying low somewhere in this neighborhood. So we're going to start our session today by seeing if Fade can ask around the neighborhood, like canvass the neighborhood looking for this car. I think time is on his side, so he will literally opt to I think he's just going to leave the junkie hostel and start walking the neighborhood, because he knows that Song is very injured and they probably haven't moved much, and the physician like literally just treated them. So let's play a move. I think it would be be a knowledge check. And by default for this job, it's going to be just a normal difficulty to see if he can track down that car. Is it sitting somewhere around here? So we'll do 2 tests. Looking at the D20, get rid of the first card. The 19, that's a hit, and an 8 is a miss with his -2. So just the 19. So it's a weak hit. You succeed, but encounter a complication along the way. Okay. He sees the car parked outside of a shipyard. Let's look at conference center. I'm not a big fan of either. Ooh, a museum. Let's take that. The car is currently idling in the parking lot of a museum. And in the neighborhood around it, we hear, Fade hears the sound of a fire crackling. So our opening scene is Fade. Well, that's where the car is. And we want to have a scene where Fade finds this car in like the parking structure. I'm going to change it to a museum in the ports. Probably like a old aviation museum kind of a deal. Yeah, this works. Okay, let's pivot to Mythic and test the scene. We know our chaos factor is 5. I think that's what I set it at the last scene. So roll a d10 and compare it to the chaos factors. Nope, it's a new d10. And we have a 6. That's over the chaos factor. So I think we play our expected scene and Fade his RCD like we wasn't able to put like a tracker on the car, but he does have like his RCD goggle set programmed to like identify like the make and model of the car that he saw Granger get away in. And as he scans it across the parking lot of this aviation museum, he gets a hit on his RCD. Sure enough, it's there, but his RCD is temporarily like disabled or blinded because he all of a sudden the cars around Granger's vehicle start burning, and that's because the Skull Brotherhood, not the Skull Brotherhood, the Holy Beasts are here, and they're like on the other side of the parking lot, and these Molotov cocktails come like flying through the air and crash into the cars around Granger's vehicle. So we're just going to do a quick little sketch. This is our parking lot. These caps never stay on. Parking lot. And I'm picturing the museum entrance is like right here. Aviation Museum. And there's a bunch of different cars parked. These are all cars. I'm gonna be here for a second. And it's after hours, so the parking lot is like complete chaos. People are just sort of parked like wherever. So gonna be like a lane here. This is like a roadway. More cars. The cars are getting smaller as I sketch, as I'm getting lazier. I don't know why it's a square within a square. It just is. That means car to me. It's like one of those, you ever watch like a sketch artist do like a thing where they can show the amount of detail they can get in, or like a miniatures painter? I remember watching those. And you know, if the guy has like 10 minutes to paint what he does or draw, versus like the amount of detail you can get with half an hour, and then like some like all day or something like that. Okay. This is Fade on the perimeter, and as he finds Granger's car, which we're gonna circle with green. Granger's car is up here. That's a G. How many there's 3. I roll on a D4. Three cars suddenly start erupting into flame. So I'm just gonna pick 3 at random. I have no idea. Dry erase on top of wet erase. What happens? And you realize that there is a couple enemies here. Let's see. Let's roll on. Like it's a building, room filler. We'll do weak enemies. But I thought we could do. Oh, okay, like a group of minions. Yeah. So there is 2d4 gangsters here. So 2 and 2. There are 4 of these holy beasts here. Let me get. These peoples are better for minions. The holy beasts will be red. Some of these red people out. And Fade is aware, he doesn't know why, but he does know that Song and Granger and technically Cord have had an encounter with these holy beasts. That's what got Song injured. So let's do yellow and red. Song is inside the car. Granger's like posted up outside of it, and as soon as the cars catch fire, Cord goes like spilling out the other end. What was I saying? Fade is aware that that's not enough minions, is it? Is aware that Granger and Song have had encounters with the holy beasts, but he doesn't know why. And I think we're gonna go to combat right here, as Fade sees an opportunity to take action here and get some results on. If he can save Granger, he can bring Granger to, again, quote unquote, justice. So I'm going to slide the map that way. All right, again, red is holy beasts. We've got Song is inside the car because she can't get out. Granger is the red one, and Cord, our previous hero protagonist, is the blue one. Okay, combat initiative. Roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, enemies act first, and I rolled a 2. 2. So the enemies act first, and they. Well, let me pull up some quick stats. Oh, geez, I'm going to take a longer pause to get some stats going here. I guess I could use a cyborg character generator for this, but I don't feel like it. It's 44 hit points. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of hit points. 44. All right. 3, 6. That's too many. He's going to be. I'm going to set him as like a weak enemy. 3 and 3, 6 HP. And he has D2 random armor. So I got to go to the armor table. Look. I'm scared to have this uncapped wood erase marker out when I hit something. Armor. Okay, he has D2 armor. He has Style Guard, tier 1. Negative D2 armor. Okay. And he has a D12 weapon. That is a 9. I think I was looking at the D12 for some D10 rolls I was making. He's got an assault. And he takes his assault rifle out of the trunk of his car for his first action. Assault rifle does D8 automatic damage. Awesome. Does it have a grenade launcher? Yes or no? No question mark. It does, but Granger can't find the grenades for it. This assault rifle has a grenade launcher. No grenades to be found. Song is yellow. And she has 2d4 hit points. 1 and 1. Oof. That actually represents her current predicament. Does she have armor? Yes. Negative D2 armor. And she has a D12 weapon herself. That's a 4. She has a revolver. All right. It's also a D8. Likes it old school. And we have Cord's character sheet over here if we need it. Those are our side PDs. And I'll switch to red for I'm gonna okay. The Holy Beast is gonna have there's like some lieutenant here in their ranks too. So he is a gang boss. Lieutenant. Purple. And he has 44 hit points. So that is 1, 4, 8, 10 hit points. This guy's a beast. Holy beast. Random armor D3 plus 1. So I rolled a 2 on the D6. So that's a 1, 1 plus 1. I'm going to give him. It says D2 armor. Okay. Everyone's got Style Guard. His weapon is a D12. I rolled only a 1. It's a broken bottle. I'm going to reroll that. It doesn't make sense. Actually, I'm going to give him 2 weapons. Broken bottle. That is a D3. But he also has a... Because that's like his last broken Molotov. Another 1. No, come on. A 6. There we go. He's got 2 small SMGs. There we go. And those do D6 auto. I want people to die here. Holy Beasts are red. They each have 4 HP. Oof. And they have... do they have armor? No, no armor. So there's 4 of them, and they each have 4 hit points. I have no idea how I'm going to track that. You can't see what I'm writing. And they each do... Miscellaneous gunfire is a D2 damage. The morale is 8 HP. Okay, so and the way morale works, if I'm reminding myself, so I think it's going to be useful to know. You get 2d6, and I'm trying to get over 8. Okay. The holy beasts are up first. Actually, I'm going to pause for a second. Okay. Gonna reshuffle the deck at the start of this fight. Okay, and the beasts are up first. Are they aware of Fade? No, but they are. No question mark to me is they are, but they don't know where he is. So instead, they try to circle around, keeping their their cover, and they open fire on. Except for the boss, he steps out and he says something to the effect of, we've got you surrounded, you pigs. You need to lay down your arms. To which Granger responds by like cocking his assault rifle. Let's see if I can fix that focus. There we go. Okay, that's better. So Granger's not too plussed about this. So it was no question mark. Oh, so we've used this card. I don't like to show the next card to myself. And they open fire on Song and Granger. So each one of them to dodge, they're going to need to defense. Roll agility DR 12. Don't have their agility. So we'll just assume no modifiers. Granger rolls a nat 20. That's a critical hit, and he gets to attack back at a target, and he rolls an 18, which is a hit. Each one of these guys only has 4 hit points, so he does D8 with his assault rifle and rolls 5. So he immediately blows. Come on out! Lay down your gunfire. Lay down your guns, and then Granger like stands up and like immediately blows away one of these guys. I think this is going to be another situation where I spend up more time setting this up than actually playing it out. That's okay. It's an auto fire gun, so it gets to attack again. And he rolls a 2, and it's a miss. That's okay. But the other 3 return fire. So Granger already rolled his defense. Song rolls poorly, and she takes, I'm going to say D4 damage. She takes 4 damage and goes down. Her car is all, the car that she's like laying in just gets riddled with bullets. She has D2 armor, but even that wouldn't protect her from taking 4 damage. So Song goes down. Immediately. So she's battered. So we will look at, I think I'll just burn a card, a D8, a 4. She needs to make a presence check and succeeds. You know what? I'm going to switch the dice. These cards are kind of hard to follow in combat. So we'll just grab my newest dice. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, Song is shot up and she goes unconscious, and then Cord needs to defend himself, and he fails. So Cord also takes some gunfire. Yeah, because his presence is 0. And Cord will take D2 damage. He takes 1 point of damage, which he does not have armor. So he takes 1 point of damage, goes down to 3 hit points. And then last, the gang boss rolls up, like he pushes this guy out from his cover and takes his cover, and then opens fire with his submachine guns on Granger this time. Granger needs to test agility, and he fails, and he takes D6 damage, but he has D2 armor. 6 damage, -1. He takes 5 damage right off the bat. Let's do that. Oof. Before he's able to like take cover. But it's now PC's turn. Well, I guess PC is an ally, is how I'm doing it. And let's keep going with Granger. He opens fire with his assault rifle. He's going to keep firing at the minions. He does, what did I say, D8 damage. And each of these guys has D2 armor. Okay. So he succeeds, does 7 damage, and minus 2 for the armor is 5. And he takes out another guy. And it's an auto fire gun, so he can keep shooting. It's a hit, doing 2 damage, minus the 2 armor, he absorbs it. And with auto fire, I think you can shoot up to 3 times. Yeah. It's another hit. Oh, Granger's lethal with this gun. He does 6 points of damage, minus 2 is 4. He takes out another beast. Ow. Okay, Song is unconscious. Cord goes running for it. This isn't his problem. And in his mind, if he can just get away from the IPD, he's in a good spot. So Cord goes weaving between cars, avoiding this one that's on fire, and gets around his here before he locks eyes with Fade and immediately recognizes another another runner, you know, a man of similar taste. And Cord sort of gestures to Fade to like take them all out, right? Like these are all enemies. And okay, so that's it. And now Fade will pop out. He'll move up to here behind it, like between these 2 cars, and he's going to open up fire on the Holy Beast first. First, he's going to shoot at the minion, I'll call him. -1 DR to auto fire, so it's actually a DR 11 agility test for a gun, an old school machine gun that does D12. Oh my goodness. Okay, but we'll jam on a 1. Okay, it's a miss. Okay, so Fade immediately misses. And I think that's everyone. Okay. So another D6 to see if do you roll initiative every turn? I like to do that in most of my games. I roll initiative at the start of every turn. I think it keeps things really exciting. Go to the index. What am I thinking? Combat, page 82. Doesn't say. I roll initiative at the, especially when it's like group initiative, at the start of every turn, just to keep things moving. We're up first. So Fade realigns his sights. I'm just going to go with Fade again. I got this dice out. And he takes a shot. It's a DR 11, and he has +1 agility. So this is a hit. However, does 1 point of damage. Oh my goodness. Can I spend a glitch to reroll a dice? Yeah, I'll spend his last glitch. I don't want this thing to jam up right yet, because I spend his last glitch to reroll the damage. Get an 11, much better. The last beast goon is blown away. Let's keep going. The lieutenant has D2 armor as well. Yeah, everyone has D2 armor in this fight. It's a hit for 9 points of damage, -2, 7 points of damage. The lieutenant is down to 3. And Fade can take his last shot. It's a hit. 4 points of damage, -2 armor. Brings the guy down to 1 hit point. Cord swings around, hoping to get Fade, to kind of force Fade's hand. And he draws. Does he have his weapon still? Yes. Question mark. Are they loaded? No. He didn't know it, but no with emphasis means to me. Cord was not aware, but Song and Granger unloaded his machine guns. So when Cord pops out from behind cover to shoot at Granger, his gun shoot nothing because it's not loaded. And Granger is aware that Fade or Cord was about to try to shoot him. It's now Granger's turn. Will he attack Cord? No, but he wants to. He shoots at the lieutenant with his, I believe it's a D8, yeah, assault rifle. I rolled a nat 1. So on a critical fumble, you roll a D6. Misfire, broken weapon. Yeah, his old assault rifle breaks in the shot, and he just sort of swings around, preparing to like take Sona. Oh, he doesn't know where to go at this point because he's got enemies on both sides. But he goes for Song's. I said Sona again. He goes for Song's revolver. Switches out. Okay, now it's the lieutenant's turn. I think he needs to make a morale check. 2d6. If I roll over an 8. No, he keeps it. If I roll over. Yeah, he's still in the fight. But he'll probably make a tactical retreat. So that means he's going to shoot his machine gun first. And he's going to take shots at Granger. He rolls a d6. Granger has d2 armor. It's a miss. Granger fails to avoid the hit. That's how we do this. And Granger takes 3 more points of damage. So he's now down to a 2. Okay. And it's a machine gun, so he can shoot again. He shoots Granger again. His orders are to kill these cops. Granger fails to avoid the hit. Takes 4 damage, -1, takes 3. Granger goes down. He has a d8. 7. Hemorrhage. Death in the D2 hours unless treated. He's going to die in 2 hours unless he's treated. Both the cops are down. Third attack. He swings around and shoots at Fade, who has Style Guard. Fade avoids the hit, ducks for cover. It's our turn. Cord doesn't have a gun, but he does have. He boots up his. Does he have his cyber deck? No. No, but it's in the car. Okay, Fade. Cord doesn't have anything, so I'm going to go back to Fade. Fade picks up his ancient assault rifle and shoots at the lieutenant as he's trying to run away. It's a hit, but it's only 2 damage minus 2 armor. Second shot is a miss, and the lieutenant gets away. So we'll make a note of that. That's the end of combat. As Cord and Fade now together sort of close in on the side PD officers who have been shot up by the holy beasts. Is the car still functioning? No. No, it's not. It's been riddled with bullets and kind of burning at this point. So Cord turns to Fade and sort of tries to be nonchalant about having survived this horrific gun battle. Cord is no combatant, right? He's a washed up corp drone turned into like a renegade hacker. Cord is no he's not familiar to violence like at all, and is trying to play it cool as he like goes into the trunk of the squad car and gets back his bullets and his cyber deck, and sort of like re-equips himself. Fade, on the other hand, first he's got to count his bullets. D8. And he's still good on his with his old school machine gun, but he slings it and kind of ignores Cord as he goes in there and he like reaches around in the car for the tablet. And is it there? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And in fact, let's see. Yes, and it's unlocked. So Fade is able to like, he just like snaps the tablet apart in his hands. And Cord sees what he's doing. He's like, why would you do that? And Fade says, a contract is a contract. To which Cord says, well, I mean, yeah, but like, why were you hired to do this? And Fade brings him up to speed. You know, I was hired by a friend of mine to destroy the compromising footage on this tablet and bring. He gestures to Granger on the ground, bring him to justice. And I think that's kind of karma is kind of taking care of that part. And Cord is like, well, I've already. Okay. Just destroying the data is we could be doing more with this, you understand. Wouldn't it be nice to have some leverage on these creeps? And Fade never considered that, right? And Cord gestures like with his cyber deck. He like punches in like a quick command and like a holographic display of Granger's like found footage style video footage of sleeping women sort of plays rapid fire. And he goes, I could finally shake this tail of these two if I could hold on to this footage. What do you say? Fade's response is, well, I was technically contracted to get it off of his tablet, his computer, and I've done that. So what you do with your copy of the footage is none of my concern. And the two of them then at this point turn and walk away, leaving Granger and Sona to their fate. Let's do some end of scene cleanup here. It's not on here. Interrupt scenes. Okay. End of scene bookkeeping right there. Edit list elements. The first thing I want to know are Song and Granger going to pull through? I think we know Song is. What about Granger? He's going to bleed out if he doesn't get help. And I want to say odds are good. He is a PsyPD. Yeah, it's all but certain. Yeah. He is going to come out of this, but with... I'm going to put like scarred on his thread line. He's not coming out of this without being like a chain. Like he's got debilitating wounds now. End of list elements. I should have. Let's see. He caught up to Granger, and Granger was dealt with. So this is done. Adjust the chaos factor. If the player character was mostly in control of the scene, apply -1 modifier to the chaos factor. So our chaos factor is now going to go down to down to 4. Okay. So our chaos factor is now a 4. I would have expected that to go the other way, so that there's more interrupts and stuff like that, but I guess that's not the case. In fact, let's pause. I'm going to go check that. Okay, we're back. Yeah, we lowered the chaos factor. I thought that was a typo, honestly. I would think that as the characters do better, the chaos factor would increase to give them a higher likelihood of, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay. So from here, Fade and Cord. I don't know. Is Cord able to recruit Fade to work with him? It'll be a presence check. Probably DR12. Nope. And no. Fade is like, you were like an abject coward. Not impressed at all. And he was thinking about, like, you know, there was like a thread through here where the two of them sort of team up. But Fade is not impressed with Chord's cowardice in the fight. And so he parts ways, and Fade is going to head back to Morgaine. Collect his payment. Is this going to play out like I think it is? Let's roll the d10 and try to get under 4. Yes. Chord or Fade sends like a message to Morgaine. Time to settle up, and meets back with Morgaine at the. Ooh, I wrote down the name of the club. See, all these notes got to be cleaned up. Something virus. We'll just call it virus. They meet back up at virus. And Fade is paid out. And I think we can put Fade away for a while. And when next we play, we'll get back on track with Chord, who can finally... this entire arc was like a whole side like spin-off of Chord getting arrested by the PSI officers. How does Morgaine feel about this footage? Is actually like, first off, Fade would not have told them that the footage is not gone. It's just off of Granger's, out of Granger's hands. Excuse me. Let's get a reaction roll about that. Is Fade able to sort of explain it away to Morgaine in a way that doesn't complicate matters? So Fade has got to do a venturing move. It's going to be a presence check at -1. Difficulty 12. Fail. Success. Yeah, so Morgaine is like, yeah, that's fine. Like, they still settle up with Fade. But now Morgaine... Okay. Morgaine pays Fade out, but says, I have a new task for you then. Let's close up all the loose ends. Fade, I need you to go back and find that hacker and kill him. To which Fade is like, no problem there. That guy is an abject coward, and removing him will not be a problem. So essentially, Fade has traded one target for another. Same mission. The problem is Chord has footage that he's not supposed to, which he can use to keep Granger and Song at bay, because he's got the blackmail over them. But as long as he has that, Morgaine is sending Fade after Chord. Interesting. I think what I'm going to do is sort of downgrade Fade from being a player character to an NPC. And we will continue on with Chord whenever we play next. Yeah, and Chord is going to head back to try to get into my wall without the password at this point. Maybe he can just bamboozle his way in at this point. Ooh, even better. Is he able to, because he left this scene after, but Granger couldn't like stop him from like I don't want to say this, can Fade like hack Granger's equipment to get the current MyWall password off of him. So that will be an intelligence check. Yeah, okay. Which he has plus, that's Fade. Whoops. Cord, +2. Success. Oh yeah. Yep, Cord is now, he's like hacked Granger's computer. And has the MyWall access password that he can use to get into the club, and through the club get into Go to find this freight ship that has some sort of precious cargo that is surely worth all of this trouble. Whew. So the next time we play, I think we'll continue on with Cord going into MyWall. If you watched this whole thing, I really appreciate you. I think you've noticed that I've added a new Oracle deck. This is just like the other one I was using, except this one is cyberpunk themed. These are Oracle cards made by, they're called the Game Master's Apprentice deck, and there's a bunch of different flavors. I'm actually up to 4 of them. I have them right over here. At this point, I have the cyberpunk themed one. This is like weird sci-fi horror. This is the generic. I think this is mostly like fantasy facing. And this is just general sci-fi, which ends up being a little too, how do I want to say this? Like you could use this for like Starfinder or Traveler or something like that, but it doesn't skew horrific enough for the kind of sci-fi games that I like, which is like Death in Space or Mothership. So that's the reason I treated myself to 2 new decks. And then of course I wanted this Cyberpunk one, which is I think really for Cyberpunk the game, but it'll work just fine for Cyborg. So if you're in the market for an Oracle deck, I really recommend Game Master's Apprentice. Okay, so yeah, so new things. I've added this Oracle deck, although I think when we're like, I have to think in terms of like how deep are we in the base mechanics, because combat worked better with just like dice and going off the book. But when we are designing scenes, we should be using Mythic. This is like the notes from Mythic that I want. So Mythic for designing scenes, the Oracle for answering questions, and then Solo Work and Cyborg working together for like in the moment stuff. Because I find using the Oracle dice is just a little too slow for things like combat. Anyway, if you watch this whole thing, thank you. It was kind of fun to play during daylight. I didn't have to be so quiet, and it's not so dark in here. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to Cord. See what happens to Cord next. I probably am rounding out my Cyborg gameplay at this point, and I'm giving consideration on what to play next. I did have a request for Shadowdark, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm doing like a twice monthly Shadowdark campaign in person. And I think it'd be fun to do something like in that campaign setting. It might help me come up with like new content for the campaign itself. Or I might just do something entirely new. But it'll probably be Shadowdark either way when we get back to it. I just don't know how good Shadowdark would be for... I don't like the idea of managing an entire party solo. I'm actually kind of grateful that Fade and Cord are not getting along, because I was not looking forward to managing 2 PCs. So we'll see. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.